Okay, can anybody remind me what the pitches are in the music
Session is
alphabet? What
being
letters do
recorded.
we use to represent those sounds? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Good job, Gabriel. The first 7 letters of our regular alphabet. Okay. Now on the screen, it says pitch. Who thinks they can tell me what pitch is in just normal words? Nothing too fancy. What is pitch? It's hard to define something in it. We talked a little bit about the very first music class, like pitch is frequency when we're talking about sound waves. Volume was amplitude. But pitch is just simply how high or how low a sound is. The highness or lowness of a sound. So we can think of like a bird chirping, boom, 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 which would be a low sound. And everything in between, right? And we got on the piano, and we know on the left side of the piano were our lower pitches. And now as you moved up to the right of the piano, we got higher. Basically different sounds. Yeah. And we represent those different sounds with those letters of the alphabet. Okay. So this should be an easy activity for you guys, hopefully, but we're just going to talk about high and low. Nothing too fancy, but I want you to see, like if I was to put 2 notes on a piece of paper, could you tell which one was high and could you tell which one was low? You actually can, because if it's up high on the page, let's say this is the page we're looking at right here. If it's something's up here up high, then we obviously know this is, high, up, right? Nothing fancy about that. Low is down, correct? So what I'm going to show you are 2 notes, and I'm going to see if you guys can tell which one's higher than the other. So let me give you another screen here to look at. Get my pointer. There we go. All right, so if you look here, look at number 1 because they've done it for you. They give you this note here and this note here. If you just look at the circle part, it's kind of easier on your eyes. Don't worry about the stem so much. But you can tell that this note here, the second one, is a little bit higher up, right, than the first one. Got the idea? So what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to give you a number. You're just going to take the drawing tool. I would use the pen tool. Like when you click draw, it'll give you 2 options. I'd pick the bottom one because it's thinner. But basically, you're just going to show me which one's higher. So look at number 2. I would circle this one, right? Because that's obviously up higher than this one. So it's nothing crazy, you guys. It's so easy. Well, I'm glad it's easy, okay? I just want to know that you can tell which one's high and which one's low. So let me give you editing responsibilities. Jackson, are you saying you want to do number 14? Just I'll give you a number and just put your initials underneath it. Like this, like I did this one. This one was higher, so I stick with that one. Okay. So let me give you a number, guys. What one? I did number 2. All right. Bentley, you do number 3. Chrissy, you do number 4. Just circle the highest one. Evan, you do number 5. Gabriel, you do number 6. Hugo, do number 7. Jackson, do number 8. Jackson N. Jackson Michael, you do number 9. Camelia, you do number 10. Lorenzo, you do number 11. Madison, 12. Olivia, 13. Jackson, Nickham, you wanted to do 14, didn't you? Jackson, do whatever number I just told you, though, so I can just stay in order. Trevor, you do 14. Is that my last one? So Brittany, 1. Or I'm sorry, Brittany, 3. Or Brittany, gosh. Bentley, 3. Christy, 4. Evan, 5. Gabriel, 6. Hugo, 7. Jackson N, just do it. Go ahead and do 8. Jackson M, do 9. Camelia, do 10. Lorenzo, 11. Madison, 12. Olivia, 13. Trevor, 14. You're just going to take the number I gave you. Hugo, were you 7? And you're just going to circle which note is higher. Okay, so look at number 7. Whoever did number 8, you may want to use a skinnier, use the pen tool instead of the paintbrush, because you kind of got into Hugo's number there. So if you did number 8, can you erase that and then make it skinnier so Hugo can do number 7? You covered up his note. And I'm going to put mine in red so you can tell, and I'll go ahead and check these. Good job, whoever GA is. Good job, number 6. Whoever did that circle, there you go. Put your initials under it, please. Good job, number 12. Good job, 13. Good job, number 8. So Hugo, on number 7, which note is higher? You're just going to circle it. Good job on 3. CC, there you go. Good job on 4. Good job, 9. See how easy this is? Can you tell high and low, right? If it's higher on the staff, higher on the page, it's the higher note. There you go, Hugo, good. Easy enough? Okay, cool. Just checking. Well, let's move on. You didn't know music was so easy, did you? Got the alphabet. Now we're doing high and low. Notes, the circles and the stems. Okay. Sometimes you'll hear notation, notate, just depending on what you're saying. So, what do we call someone who writes? Looks like I glitched. We just listened to Antonio Vivaldi's Winter. What do we call that person who writes music? Anybody think they know? This is just a little extra trivia. A person who writes music is called, like Beethoven and Mozart. Anybody know what they're called? I mean, you could call them a musical artist, right? What do you think, Evan? There's actually like a like notation's the musical name for writing music. What's the fancy word for somebody who writes music? Nope. Here we go. Let's drag the answer. A composer. So it says, what is a musical staff? Well, let's move the box. It says a musical staff is a set of 5 horizontal lines, so across, left to right, and 4 spaces in between those lines that represent the different musical notes or pitches. What does a musical staff look like? Well, here we go. Right? So you can see here we have the 5 lines if you count from the bottom to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in between those lines, we have these spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we call that a staff. And when we put notes on it, like you saw here, see how those notes are starting to go on the staff? That's what we call notating or writing music. When you put notes on a staff, then it tells you what pitch you can play. And we already know pitches are represented by the A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Now, some of you in here may already know, like, every good boy does fine. And that's actually we're going to get into next week. So we're going to take this little by little. Today, our goal is to know the difference between a note that's on a line and a note that's in a space. Okay? So here we have this again. A staff has 5 lines and looks like this. I should have moved these over before this class, but basically I was moving these in order from bottom to the top. Line 1. See if I can make it look better. Line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. Good enough? So actually, that one looks much better, doesn't it? Okay. So always from the bottom to the top. I cannot stress that enough, you guys. So it says the staff has 5 lines. Notice when you look at these numbers here, I'll act like these are the notes, okay? The line's going through the actual box with the number in it. So that's a line 1. And then we go up, see how the line 2 is going right through it? Line 3 is going right through it, line 4 and line 5. Okay. We cannot ever call line 5 line 1. Some of you want to count from the top down. If you do that, you're going to get the pitches wrong. Okay. So I'll make sure it's always from the bottom up. Line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to see if you can figure out what these line notes are. So if I was to drag this box down to line 1, we're going to start in the lower left and we're just going to move this way. So notice how the line is going right through the note. Line 1, put it right through the note. Line 2, 3, notice I'm going from the bottom to the top, 4, and 5. Okay, see right here how the line's going through it. Now I'm going to open up this donut thing. This is not something you write on. You're just going to put your answer in the chat and I'll show you how. Donuts to represent notes. Okay, you will notice all of these donuts have lines going through them, so we can say they're all line notes. What I want you to tell me is which line. Is it line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, or line 5? So I'm going to give you a donut letter. I may say, hey, Bobby, do letter A. What line is A? And you would put in the chat, you're going to tell me which one you had. You had A and then line 4. So it would look like that, A4. Donut A is line 4, okay? So you don't have to write anything on the screen. It's not annotated or anything. So I'm going to give you a donut. Jackson, you do donut B. So you'd put B what? What line is the donut B around? B2. Good. Evan, you want to do donut C? What line is donut C around? Just count from the bottom to the top. Here's C, right? So go 1, 2, 3. So you would put donut C is line 3, C3. That makes sense? Okay, try donut D, Evan. What line is donut D around? Oh, go from the bottom to the top. Always count from the bottom to the top. Oh, you're talking E. Okay, you said donut E. Donut E is 1. You're correct. I said D, but that's okay. So Evan says donut E is line 1. That is correct. Somebody tell me what donut D is. What line is donut D around? Yeah, you did E. That's fine. Somebody tell me, yeah, D is line 5, right? Okay. What is, now you all can answer now that you got the idea. Donut, I'm going to mix it up. K. Yep. Line 1. Good job. Donut. What is that? I can't even see what that one looks good though. Donut I is around which line? Count from the bottom to the top. Yep. You got it. Line 5. All right, one more. Let's do donut G. G is around line 2. Good job. Now you're getting the hang of it. Okay, let's do the same thing for spaces here. So the line notes, just remember line. I always had my little kids put their, you know, those arrow hats you wear, like you put on your head. It looks like there's an arrow going through your head. You ever seen those? But kind of like that, if you're looking in my window, I would have my kids do this. This is a line note. Space notes, you will notice there's a line below it and a line above it. Let me show you. Okay, so we had our 5 lines. We still do. But in between those lines, I'll use this. You can see like in between lines, there's a space. Between line 2 and line 3 is a space. There's the next space. In between line 4 and 5 is that space, okay? Let me put that back over there. So we're going to call this space 1, space 2, space 3, and space 4. You will notice there is no line going through the middle of it. Okay, if I put that there, that's actually line 4, right? Because there's a line going through it. But if I put it here, it's space 4. There's a line below it and above it. All right, now let's practice, see if you can name these. Let me get my donuts on here. Just remember, space 1, there's a line below it, a line above it, and we're always moving up. Space 2, space 3, space 4, okay? So you guys are good at this now. Always from the bottom to the top. I'm trying to make it bigger. Can you guys see that well enough? Good enough? Okay. No? All right, I'm gonna give you a donut. And we'll just all practice. Okay. Notice they're all in spaces. They've got a line below it and a line above it. Make sure you're counting from the bottom to the top. What is donut F? What space is donut F in? There you go. Good job. Space 3, right? If you're not sure how we got that, you look, here's donut F. This would be space 1, space 2, space 3. Good job. All right. What about donut B? What space is donut B in? Good. See, this is easy for you guys. Good job. What space is donut K? 87, not quite. What space is donut K in? I had to look at that myself. Yeah, space 3. Okay, one more. What about donut A? Still 3, right? Oh, A. A is in 3. Good job. Okay, so let's practice this. I'm going to give you a link here. This is a practice worksheet. Anytime you see the word practice at the top, just remember it's usually something we do in class. It's not worth any points. You just get a complete or an incomplete. This is really super duper easy. The one thing that's hard about this is the technology part. Let me show you what I mean. Always something, right? And it wouldn't let me delete my, so you get to see my blue circle. All right, listen up here before I give you a couple minutes to do this. It's pretty easy. Basically, you're just going to color space notes blue and line notes red. Okay, I'm just going to start with blue. I'm going to pick my paintbrush tool. I'm going to do all the blue, all the space notes first. And here's why. And you don't have to color them in. You can trace it if you want. I tried to get rid of this, but it didn't work. You don't have to color in. It'll take you forever. Okay, so I'll do all the space notes first. Here's another space note because it's a line above it and a line below it, right? Notice there are space notes that can be above or below the actual staff. As long as it doesn't have a line going through it, it's a space note. So here's another one. I'm just going to highlight it blue. Now, this is where I want you to pay attention, okay? So you've got all your space notes done and you want to go and do red. Look what happens when I go red. It just changed all of them to red. Okay, so just pick in between your two. I just go to the text tool and go right back. Just pick another tool. And then now you should be able to switch your colors and you can do all your line notes in red. See how there's a line going right through the middle of it? Here's another line note because there's a line note going through the middle of it. So basically you just have to switch tools real quick between your colors. Otherwise it makes everything the same color. So go ahead and work on this for a couple of minutes, then you can compare your answers to mine. Why does it do that? So touchy. Serious. I don't know if your guys is doing that or not, but every time I release it, like goes back up. Okay, so here's my top part, and I'll scroll to the bottom half here in a second so you can compare yours. Let me know when you've finished and submitted. So just remember between colors to change real quick so it allows you to change colors. You want to see the bottom half? Hold on. Here's the bottom part. So you can see here there's two different clefts. Oh, we haven't talked about clefts yet, have we? We'll talk about that here in a second. But here's That was weird. What makes you think you're in the wrong grade, Bentley? Aren't you usually with this class? That's the pod, 7th grade, pod D. You're in 6th grade? Let me take a snip of that. I'll make sure. I'll check it out. That's interesting, right? There may be a reason for it, maybe not. I don't know, but I'll check into it and see what. I'll give you an email later on the answer. How's that? Oh, you just started. Yeah, I'll check on it, Bentley, and I'll send you an email. All right, are we finishing this exercise up? My computer's wanting to glitch. Let me chat when you finish that. I'll reshare my screen here before it starts acting up again. Just remember, you've got to switch the tools between the colors, otherwise it gets a little bit crazy. Now, I was trying to tell you about the clefs, but then I realized we hadn't talked about the clefs yet. But a clef, it says that the staff also what's called a clef at the beginning. Wraps around the second line of the staff. So here, see where it hooks? Look, it's hooking right around this line, which we know when we count from bottom to the top is line 2, right? 1, 2. And for those of you who've ever learned the pitches, every good boy does fine. Every good, line 2 is G, right? So we sometimes call that the G clef. Now, am I glitching again, you guys? To the correct place on the staff. So just know that the treble clef will never go at the end. It's always at the beginning, so you actually know what you're reading. But remember, we don't want to just put it anywhere at the beginning. That hook of the clef has to be right there we go, around line 2. Okay, so it should look like that. Yep. So I'm going to put a whiteboard up, and we're going to practice drawing a treble clef, because you'll need to do that for your ET today. I'll show you how I do it. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything. And then I'll give you guys a chance to try. It's always, and I actually was saying, if you've got a mouse like this one, like a freestanding mouse, it's easier. But then I tried it using the keypad, like on the actual computer. And I actually think, because it almost feels like you're like. So the first thing I said, go at the top. You're going to draw a circle, a half circle this way, right to the middle of it, and then hook it around this way, and then just give it a final hook. Okay. Now, if you do it different, that's fine. But pick a color, pick the pen tool, and use the the pen makes it a little bit skinnier. Pick a color, any color. Let's see your best treble clef. A J, and a little hooky hook. There you go. Some kids were like, I want to do it this way. They start at the bottom. Actually, I mean, because you don't ever have to lift your finger if you do it that way. Like this. You know what I mean? Oh. Yeah. Obviously, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just as long as I can tell you know what a treble clef looks like for your ET, we're good. But those of you, yeah, there you go. That's a good one. Good enough. I can definitely tell us what you're trying to do. I'm going to try it with my mouse. This is my mouse one. I might just be getting really good at this, you guys. There you go. But if it's hard for you, just try the J first, then the half circle, whip it around. And just remember that hook goes around the second line, but we're not even drawing on a staff. We're just drawing on normal whiteboard. So got the idea? Good job, you guys. Okay. So today we talked about high and low pitches and just nothing fancy about that. If it's higher on the staff, it's a higher pitch. If it's lower, it's a lower pitch, right? We talked about line and space notes. Line notes have a line going through the note head. Space notes have a line below it and above it, but not through it. And then we just drew our treble clef. So next music class, we'll actually start learning the note names using the music alphabet. Okay, but we're going to keep it easier today. So I'm going to put the exit ticket link in the chat for you. It's longer today. So I want you to open that up with me. Let me explain it. There's 18 points to it. And then I'll give you time to work on it. The other kids were finding it easy. So hopefully you guys won't find it too hard. It's basically everything you did today. You thought today was easy. I think you'll be fine. So let me explain this first because it is an annotated one. And I tried to put in blue what tool to use. Okay. Is it Sharon? Yeah. So look at mine real quick. It says use the paintbrush tool and pick any color other than black. And I say that just because when I grade it, it's hard for me to tell what's on the paper if you're using a black pen because everything on here is black, right? So just pick a color. So it says what? Paintbrush tool. So paintbrush, pick a color, any color. How about beautiful purple? All right. So you can see number 1, number 2, 3, 4, and 5. They've got 2 notes, just like we did at the very beginning of class. It says for each pair of notes, just circle the note that is the highest. So number 1 was done for you. So you're looking at this note here and this note here. We can tell this is a little bit higher, right? So they circled that one. So you'll just look at these 2 notes, circle the one that is higher. I would pick the skinny line up here. That way it doesn't get into everything. Which one's higher for number 3? Which one's higher for number 4? Okay. Easy enough there. Don't start yet. I know you're wanting to, especially on this part. I want to make sure you guys know what you're doing. Now you're going to switch to the text tool. Here you're just going to indicate whether the notes are line notes or space notes. They've done the first 2 for you. So look at the black circle. Look, there's a line going through that little circle, right? So we call that a line note. If a line's going through it, it's a line note. If not, it's a space note. See how this one's sitting in between line 1 and 2? Nothing's going through it. So we call that space. You're just going to take your text tool and you can just put L or S if it's line or space for each of those. Okay. Now we're going to add a little bit to it here. Here you just have to tell me if it's a line or space note. This is kind of like what we did with the donuts. You have to tell me which line or space. So look at number 1. Figure out if it's a line or a space note. Well, there's a line going through the head. So it's a line. So we'll put L. But then which line? Counting from the bottom to the top? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Well, that's line 2. So they put L2. Okay. Here we can tell that the space or the note head is in a space because there's no line going through it. And it happens to be space 1, 2, 3, 4. So remember, there's 5 lines, but only 4 spaces. So don't ever give me an S5. Okay, so you'll put your answer here. And then at the bottom, just use your paintbrush tool and draw a beautiful treble clef. Now I'm going to put you at tables. If you have questions or you need help with something, just let me know. Not working for you or whatever. We've got plenty of time. Okay, so take your time. These assignments I have to grade myself. So I'll get your grade back right away. Actually, it might be a couple days just because it'll take me a while to get through everybody's. But you do still get 3 attempts. It just may be a minute, a day or 2 before you get your second attempt if you need one. All right, so at 11:15, I'll start playing the exit video so you know it's about time to go. But go ahead and start working on your assignment. Please share your screens. Are you guys at 1 per table? Yep, okay. That way I can just kind of peek in and see what you guys are doing. And raise your hand if you need help. Hopefully it won't be too bad for you. Okay. So if you have any questions, Hugo, just let me know in the chat. if you need help with anything. And while you guys are working, I'm gonna go let my dogs out real quick and I'll be right back. You won't even know I'm gone unless my computer glitches. Then everybody might be gone. Hold on, I'll be right back. No breaks. Luckily, it's like 3 steps away, but you could probably even hear me do it. You're gonna let your dog out too, Madison? That's fine. No breaks, Teach. I'm pretty easy to get along with. See, I'm back already. Only one wanted out. I wouldn't call that a break. I'd call that a be right back in 5. I know, right? Brain break, brain break. Do you guys think this is easy or is it hard? Just be honest. Hopefully it's easier because you've had it before, maybe. Oh yeah, I remember this. I always love that. I always found it easy too, but some people do find it hard. And that's okay. Right, you go. I understand that. Oh, you started today? Well, welcome. You haven't missed me. I think you only missed like 2 or 3 classes. We just started. Maybe I should ask those of you who've never had any of this before if it was easy or hard. For you brand new people who've never been taught this before. Really? Oh, I'm glad you find it easy. And once we learn how to actually read and write the music on the staff, then we can start applying it, to the piano or whatever instrument in Chrome, and you'll start to see how it all comes together. Good. Now, I've taught this as early as, well, first grade learns high and low. They don't really learn the notes. They just kind of dance around and try to, can I tell if they can tell what's high and what's low? So little by little through each grade level, they learn a little bit more. After we learn the notes on the staff, then we're going to talk about rhythms. Like how long or how short are you going to play the pitch G? How long or how short are you going to play the pitch A? Hugo's brown nosing. You ever heard that term? I don't know where it came from, but you brown nosing the teacher? I try. I've only done this forever, 25 years. So by now I've got it down. I've got the process down. I'm going to turn 50 in March, you guys. I think I'll still have you guys. I have March. Yeah, because March 13th will be our last class or our last week. Yeah, I know. And then March 10th is my birthday. I know I have a twin brother too. We're not taking it very well. I'm still not over being 40. So I've got a couple days left to, accept the fact that I'm in my 40s. Seem like 39? Yeah, my personality is probably like 12. That's why I like teaching junior high. I'm right there along with you. I never grew up. No, I like being sarcastic, and junior high kids are usually pretty sarcastic too. If you guys are finishing up with your ET and you want to work in the Chrome lab and just play around, you can. I'll put that in the chat, but don't do that until you're finished with your ET. And then here in about 4 minutes, I'll start playing the exit video. Okay, Camilla. Just remember, it'll take me a while to grade all these. Not just your class. I got 5 classes. I've got that K-pop song in my head, that Demon Hunter song. That was called? I gotta get out of my head. Delete my stuff on that annotated one. It's driving me crazy. Okay. I will get to grading it here eventually. All right, if you're still working on your ET, keep on going. If the music bothers you, just turn it down. But you guys might hate me after this one. But I found this on YouTube. Songs that will get stuck in your head. Oh yeah. Olivia, you hate me right now. Oh, just wait. You just got rickrolled. No, I found it on YouTube. You got rickrolled. And you know what was funny is I just found this on, I was actually looking for more of those races, the line rider race things that we were doing. Can't find it anymore though. But I found this one. So I hadn't watched it other than for the first time with that my first class at 8:30. So I had no idea we were getting rickrolled either or barbied. But I thought that was kind of funny. So I just try to find something cool to watch. All right. So remember, if you don't have your exit ticket finished, it's okay. Just turn it in when you're ready. And then on Monday, we will start to get in the actual pitches for the lines and the spaces. Yeah, YMCA was a good one. EGBDF. And Jackson's sharing some of the songs in there. I'll click on those. I'll have to listen to them afterwards, though, Jackson. All right, you guys. I'll see you on Monday. Good work today. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. You just got rickrolled.
RockersWorld.com.
Ali.
Because you know I'm all about that rice, no egg roll. I'm all about that rice, no egg roll. I'm all about that rice, Oh, hero, I'm all about that rice, rice. I ain't no Japanese, I don't know kung fu, but I could bake a bacon. It's what I chose to do. I got that goo sauce. Give you a taste of my soy sauce all over your face. Don't go to PF Chang, fuck all that I have. I give you goo beef with side of soda pop. If you are really hungry,
You've been trolled, yes, you've probably been told. Don't reply to this guy, he's just trying to get a rise out of you. Yes, it's true, you respond and that's his cue to start trouble on the double while he strokes his manly stubble. You've been trolled, you should probably just fold when the only winning move is not to play. And yet you keep on trying, mindlessly replying. You've been trolled, have a nice day.
RockersWorld.
hockey and all the rice. My eat it up, chicken come with. Fortune cookie and a wonton Rari pop. Yeah, my grandma, she told me put curry on all the rice. She said curry is better with goo mixed up inside. Curry. You know I won't be no bitch nigga serving you free egg roll. So if that's what you're into, then go different restaurant. Because you know I'm all about that rice, no egg roll. I'm all about that rice, no egg roll. I'm all about that rice, Vote Pedro. I'm